At Choices Medical Clinic in the sonogram room, there have been a lot of amazing things happen in this room. Not long ago, Brian and Julie Brayfield came to Choices for a consult. They had received some bad news right about 26 weeks into the pregnancy.
We had a couple sonograms. They had noticed some problems. Shortly after that, we had some tests ran, and we had found out that Mackenzie had trisomy 18, which is a genetic disorder, and she was not going to survive. I was scared, angry.
We felt alone. We didn't understand.
A lot of my anger was probably just masking my fear because I was terrified.
Blaming myself for what did I do wrong and how can I do this? And then I went to, this is not going to happen.
They knew that their baby was not going to live after birth, and their doctor had recommended that they come here.
Our whole lives changed September 14th when we walked in here.
Where we help these people is we show them their baby. This is not just a situation of a horrible event. This is a child.
Choices just helped us see and cherished and loved her. They told us it was okay to love her.
And for them to be able to parent their child, even if it's just through the womb, and make decisions for their child and celebrate their child's life makes the healing afterwards so much better.
I was surprised that they were going to go through this journey with us all the way. I was surprised by their strength, I think, a lot.
They're unbelievable people. There's always said there's got to be a special place in heaven for them.
I talked to Julie a few days before her appointment, and she wasn't even sure Brian would come to the appointment.
I dragged him in here.
He was somewhat aloof. He didn't really want to participate in this.
You could tell he was in a lot of pain, and he just wasn't wanting to share it with us.
They came here for the consultation, and then after the consultation we came into this room where we began to show them their baby.
Brian sat down and just was quiet, just sat there. But as the sonogram continued and he saw the images of his Mackenzie, his face changed.
I remember specifically he got out of his chair and stood up and looked closer at the screen, like if he could just get closer. And then he sat back down, and I remember him reaching over and holding Julie's hand, and I began to see his face just melted. He wasn't as angry, and that wall that he had put up was beginning to crumble.
When we went into the sonogram room, I had my arm on Julie's leg, and I just bowed my head. And I gave my life to Christ, and I gave him, just let everything out that day, right then.
When we walked out, Brian was not the same person.
I was not in a good frame of mind when I came in here. I was not leading the life that I should have been leading.
Have a whole different belief now and a whole different faith.
I haven't been that person since that day, since that moment.
Through Mackenzie and through Choices, God saved our souls. Our souls have saved.
He handed me himself because he's been with me ever since.
It's amazing how much impact Mackenzie had, an unborn child, on people all over.
Mackenzie was like an atomic bomb. She changed my husband and I, our relationship. She taught us how to trust in God, how to trust people again, how to love. We love a whole different way. My whole family, extended family, friends, so many people's lives have been changed because Mackenzie.
You know, God had been working this out long before Julie found out she was pregnant.
On the sonogram that morning, Julie asked where we got the machine, and when we told her where the machine had come from a church through donations, they both remembered the time when the church was doing the fundraiser, and they too emptied their pocketbooks just to support the fundraiser for this machine.
Yeah, he had a plan that day when we first saw the machine at the church, and his plan was for us to see our daughter through that machine.
She was born to heaven that day.
She was stillborn. We made it 36 weeks. And we went in Friday and listened to the heartbeat, and she was doing good, and And by Monday, I went back in, and she was gone. It was something that we prayed for. We prayed not for that in particular, but we prayed really hard for no pain for her.
We had a lot of family there and in the room, and we wanted it to be something that was her birthday, a celebration, and that's what we did. There was a lot of peace in that room that day. She was in heaven. She was already in heaven. We wanted it to be a celebration instead of something.
She was healed.
Mm-hmm.
I think of choices, and I think of when they get to heaven, just all these little babies that are just going to be so happy to see them.